Badoop. Oh shit, I don't have a tweet ready. Ah! Oh well. And we are live. Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. I currently have not put a single thing on the Twitter. So that once again highlights me being a literal idiot. Late Easter stream. That's what we're calling it. Pina colladas all around. Because that is our drink of choice today. For the simple reason that it is something I like, and I can simply put together by adding some batida de coco and these nuts. No, that's not what we no. No, we do it by taking some batida de coco and adding thingamajig to it. What's it called? Come on, words. Whatchamacallit? Batida de coco and pineapple juice. And a tiny bit of rum, and then you essentially get a pina colada. It's a very scuffed one. However, scuffed is good. Sometimes scuffed can be really, really good. We have different tabs open. I literally have a tab open with an idea I've been having, which was to make a, well, not a FNAF stream, but to basically take all the MatPat FNAF videos and just like make a big ass stream about me watching all of them. It'd be like a challenge run, but I'm not gonna do it now. I would make that its own stream. I would make that the FNAF stream. The FNAF I never want to see this franchise again stream, you know, because I calculated it. It's about like 18 hours worth of content, which sure, but I need a reason to stream that, right? Like, just because I have 100 Twitter followers doesn't make it that's a valuable reason to, like, okay, now I'm gonna be doing a big ass stream. And would make it a bit funny though, right? Like, think about it. Like, I have 100 Twitter followers. Let's go and record a 18-hour stream, never ending, all about FNAF. And then maybe I'll have like a little tab open of me making some doodles. Tweeted this out earlier. Right? Want to hear about funny goofs? I basically had all the streaming equipment ready, and I started doodling a part of this, right? But then I figured out that I was not streaming, and therefore none of my amazing little doodling was actually saved. So I basically did a not even like an unlisted stream. It was just a offline stream. It wasn't even a stream. It was just me talking to myself in the void. Which is even weirder now that I've come used to doing it in front of 0 viewers. It's like I'm used to not talking to 0 viewers, not just talking to myself. It's different, you know, because now I'm talking into the microphone as if I'm talking into the microphone. But before I was talking into the microphone, but it wasn't even like recording. It was like a practice run. Like, I haven't done that since like December, and we're April now. We're halfway through April. Could you imagine that? We've already been streaming almost for 4 months. I don't know if that should be concerning or not. I'm just not gonna question it. What are we gonna do? Yeah, I was drawing some Pecora because she's a rabbit, and Easter, so that's a very simple connection. And then Kiara because she's a chicken, and Easter, and because I have no idea, so I just started drawing monsters. I haven't really done that too much on stream yet. I found I always think I draw more monsters than I do. But the reason for that is, right, like there's a very whatchamacallit, there is a very simple reason for why I always think I draw more monsters than I actually do, and it's because when I was small, right, when I was a small Tory, I drew like creatures all the time. The simple reason for that was I just didn't know how to draw humanoids, so I would just draw creatures at all times. The downside of that is that everyone saw me always like drawing dragons and shit, and therefore I got known as Tori the Dragon Drawer. Now, I don't mind drawing dragons like all that much, right? However, kids are cruel, Jack. Kids are cruel, Jack. You know? So what I first thought was just people admiring me doing drawing was actually just kind of them making fun of me without me realizing for the longest part. And when I became aware of it, the only thing that happened was for years I just became very uncomfortable with anyone like seeing what the hell I was drawing, because I became like uber self-conscious about it, you know? You know, where you're like you don't really like anyone watching you do your thing because you think like, oh, what do they think? Even though the right response was actually my first instinct, which was to just kind of double down and do it, not caring about whatever the hell they think, right? Like that's the correct answer in this situation. You have to harness your inner chat. Like being a fully bloated chat about it is actually the smarter, better option to take, because that shows not only strength but shows like, hey, I want to improve. I'm actually working towards something. It's a good thing, you know. Whilst just kind of becoming very insecure about it is not a good thing. That's because there's no reason to get insecure. It's like you're getting insecure for no reason. Stop it. Double down. Show them who's boss. You are a better. You're using your time to do something you like doing. What the hell is wrong with that? Oh, but you drawing is weird. It's like, grow up. Get over yourselves. Right? Like, let's be honest. Do I know any of them anymore? No. Do I know some of their names? No, I literally forget them. Have you ever had that issue? It's something I have had like a few times. I've had people come up to me, be like, hey, Tori, yeah, you remember me? Yeah, we used to be like, and then they introduce themselves, and I have to really dig deep into like, oh my god, where the hell do I know you from? Because if I don't keep contact with you, and you're not someone particularly either like significant or like a person I had a close connection with, I'ma kind of forget. I could have a general idea, right? Some people have a very clear idea of what they're like and how I interact with them, but for some others, it's just like, yeah, we did what together? When? And it becomes very difficult because that makes me feel like the idiot, right? Like that makes me feel bad for them, like I'm kind of the shithead for not remembering. But then at the same time, it's like, well, again, what was the reason I didn't remember? Because there usually tends to be a reason. Was it that you didn't hang out with me that much because I was a weird kid that got bullied, or was it racism? I don't know. And I'm not gonna pry about it. I'm not gonna wonder, because I have other shit to get to, you know. Like I have other stuff I could be doing, like making more drawings. See if the Dragon Boy can still make a dragon. And that's also what the alcohol streams are for. It's for me to just let loose. Also, it's just an excuse to have the title be like the extravagant drinking thing. Even I don't like have a problem or anything. Don't drink that much either. However, I do like the drinks I drink, because that's my. I would say that's my general rule, right? Like, if I'm gonna drink something, then I do want to drink something I like. You know what's a design I always loved? It's a stupid design, mind you. However, there used to be this Mega Bloks line of toys, right? Back in the day. Like, yeah, I'm going deep into childhood shit now. And I never had the toy. I just liked the design, but I looked it up. The toy looks ugly. So the toy doesn't even look that good, but the idea of the toy was good. And it was like this undead dragon with like these rib cage spikes sticking out his neck. I don't know. Ooh, why am I laggy? Stop being laggy, computer. They had like these spikes out of their necks, right? Oh god, like my thing is terrible connection. What the hell happened? Hello? Okay, wow, that was odd. No, what happened was this Mega Bloks collection with like these had like these dragons with these spikes out of their necks, and they were like supposed to be rib cage parts, even though anatomically it made no sense, because even if they're like the bones of their neck, then them sticking out would mean that that space inside doesn't have any bone. So like it's truly edgy kid shit. However, I did like the design a lot, and I was always somewhat pissed that I never got the toy for it. Not that I can complain. I had a lot of awesome toys. Fucking 2000s were great for like being a toy kid, if you could avoid being bullied for it and like other kids finding out. Other kids boring toys. They got regular Legos and this thing called Playmobil here that a lot of kids were a fan of. Screw them. Or they all went into like soccer and played sports. Screw them too. I had Bionicles. Bionicles were the shit, man. Like you want a real man's toy. Real man's toy is a Bionicle. It's Lego, but then even cooler because you had to. It was like you got a posable action figure for it. The main thing was that they were like very big, and you had to put them together, you know. And that was cool. And yeah, that's the story of why Mega Bloks was awesome. No, Mega Bloks was like if you couldn't really afford, not if you couldn't afford like it wasn't a thing of if you couldn't. What do you mean open widget? What is it? Why is my streaming status poor? Was I disconnected for a few seconds again? Hi, by the way, Retro Since Rider. Welcome back to the stream. I just lost my train of thought. God damn it. Because for a second there I thought my stream was lagging, but no, it's doing fine. YouTube's just being an ass for some reason. Wait, make this smaller so I can move it out of the way. There we go. Ha. Problemo solved though. Oh yeah, this dragon design. Mega Bloks. Mega Bloks was basically like this alternative to Lego, but the cool thing about them is they had like movie licenses, so you were able to get like the ship, like the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that. But because they were essentially had the same like Lego pegs, you could combine the sets, and that was awesome. So you would have you could kind of mishmash it all. It's funny, like I wasn't that much the kid. Go figure. I wasn't that much the kid to go outside and play with other kids, right? But I was the kid that really liked playing with his toys and making my own stories up, which is probably one of those reasons why I went into animation and like filmmaking after, you know. It's one of those like serendipitous, one leads into the other. What's up, Muscle? Well, today we are doing a late Easter stream. The reason being, well, okay. Earlier, I was actually technically streaming, in that I was basically talking into the microphone, drawing all of this, whilst, you know, just kind of hanging out. But I didn't press the record button, and somehow, you know, yeah, somehow I didn't. Somehow I just didn't record it. So now I'm back, and I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna do a little bit more of a drawing stream because I kind of want to, and that's what's up. And then I started talking about my toys and this Mega Bloks design I used back in the day, and why I don't tend to draw dragons that much, even though I kind of like drawing dragons. He remade Clone Wars using his Lego Star Wars set. That's awesome. I used to, okay, when Clone Wars came out, like a whole bunch of Lego sets got revamped, right? And I really liked the clones, like the clones' aesthetic of their armor and stuff like that. I really liked it. I really dug it. So I was a really big fan of that. And I remember having this stupid trait where sometimes if I would see a toy by itself in the store, I'd feel not guilty, but I'd feel kind of bad for it if it was like the only toy left. Even though there were a few other toys I might have liked more, it was like, ah, but it's the only one left. I'm gonna get that one. I have no idea why I did that. Or I would have this kind of thing of impatience where if there's a toy I wanted, but it wasn't there, but there was another toy in its place, I would take the other toy, even though if I would have just waited like a week longer, I could have had the other toy because it didn't matter because I had to wait until Christmas anyway to open up the toys, like that kind of shit. Like sometimes I was a stupid kid. And like what that leads me to is this little mini story about how when one Christmas, during my like I guess the Clone Wars phase, like when season 1 and season 2 were airing on TV, they brought out all these Lego figures of the show, right? And I got, what was it? It was the Republic Cruiser, I think. Had like a little Palpatine figure in it and like 2 cool blue soldiers. It was like this really big Lego set. I think that's the biggest set I've ever owned. But I got that instead of like the dropship, even though the dropship is like objectively cooler because it's a dropship and you can do like more, you could technically play out more scenarios with that instead of like the big ginormous spaceship, which you can only do like bombardment scenarios with, sort of. I don't know. I have sorry, I almost didn't miss that message. I have the Clone Wars toy figures, not a Lego. Oh. Wait, they had regular toy... Oh, yeah, they had regular toy figures, too. I always thought they weren't as posable, so I never, like, really cared for them. And they were, like, mega expensive, too. Compared to the regular thing, you know. Clone... toy... Although they are more posable nowadays than the... I'm looking up on Twitty. Yeah, I saw those in stores. Cool. My only thing was you would have to get a lot of them for it to like become, well, not viable, but like no, actually for it to become viable, you would have to buy a lot of those. So that's why with like once you had a few Lego sets and a few Mega Block sets, it was just better to like expand on those. I've Captain Rex. Oh, I remember. That leads me into another funny little tangent, Star Wars tangent. I remember Commander Rex coming out, and I thought his design was the coolest shit ever. It was back when like blue was my favorite color, and like he was just the coolest, you know. He was with Anakin. He was an OG character. He had these akimbo pistols, and he was like a very capable soldier thing, right? Now, the toys for him didn't exist yet because either they didn't know he would be such a success yet, or so no toys existed. So what I did was I took this regular ass like white Clone Wars Lego toy. Wait, let me get one. Clone Lego, like a regular clone Lego trooper, right? Here I got him. And what I did literally, wait, here we go. Where did he go? Where is he? There he is. Wait, they put him there. And what I literally did was, in true like old school toy fashion, I got a marker. I got like blue markers, and I started drawing like the lines on him. Whatchamacallit? Wait, let's still multiply it. No. Wait, I can't make this a multiply. Now. Like I literally took the blue line and like drew in the sides of his mask and stuff like that to make him more blue. Like I think I drew the shoulders blue, and then I paused the Clone Wars thing and I added like the blue lines on his helmet. Which I don't 100% know, but I think it was like something like that, right? Like, and then you had, okay, no, I opened up. Okay, here I opened like a Google Images reference. Yeah, season 1 Rex, and I like drew up the a little blue, and I just like blew on him like an idiot, just to get it to like to be part, to have my own mini Commander Rex. And then eventually I think I got like a regular Commander piece with one of the sets, and then I just gave him to my mini Rex, and then that was mini Rex. But I never owned the actual Rex figure. Damn. Yeah, childhood memories. When your parents won't buy you Captain Rex. Well, it wasn't as much as that they wouldn't buy him for me as that he didn't exist yet. There was no Captain Rex figure. And then when there was, you had to buy a set or whatever. Or I might have already like been out of the mood for it or whatever. Like, I think Star Wars. I'm like okay, so the later part of my childhood going into my early teens, right, is all centered around what toy was I into. That's like the phases I can literally remember, right? Like I can try and remember school and sort of go off that, but I could also go by toys. Because it was like a Mega Bloks phase, into a Bionicle phase, into a Lego phase, into like a Mega Bloks Bionicle phase, into a Clone Wars phase, which then went to, if I remember correctly, it was like Clone Wars Troopers, and then I think that might have been around the time when Bionicle stopped, and then, like, I'm really remembering here, right? I think then I became invested in Warhammer 40k, because a friend of my dad's was into it, like into model building, and he was into fantasy, but he was like, hey, maybe your kid, he's like nerdy, he might like this shit. And then he introduced me to 40k, like through his recommendation. We went to a Games Workshop, and then I became mega invested in Necrons. And from there became the like money sink early teens that was Games Workshop was awesome. And I loved having like the strategy battles and stuff like that. Because essentially what that would be able to do was all the little scenarios I would play out with my toys. I would be able to do a similar thing, except have rules to combat other people with. So it was more interesting. Yes. Yes, I went deep into the lore as well. Like relatively early internet. No, not early internet. I think this was like 2010, 2009-ish. Oh, I'm remembering when I'm having pain. Like, I was really into Necrons, and I was into Tyranids. Then, because Tyranids just got renewed. Then I became invested into Chaos Space Marines. And Dark Elder, because they got renewed. Then back to Necrons, I think. How old were you when Clone Wars came out? Which year did Clone Wars come out? Like, I'll count from then, like, when it came out. When did Clone Wars... It's also when did Clone Wars start airing here, because here we usually tend to get the shows a tiny bit later. Star Wars The Clone Wars was a show that ran from 2008. Yeah, it might have been that. I think it was like maybe 10, 11 at the time. Like, I was also a kid that stood into toys really long, right? Like, when most kids were, again, doing like sports and got into live action shows, I was there like, nope, I literally don't care for it. Wait. I was like 4 years old. Damn. Clone Wars is 2000. Damn, my math is bad. It's 8. It's 8. Wait, so it's 212 4. 212 4. Minus 2. Minus 2. Minus 10. So then we're at 2010. Minus 2 again, so 24. So it was like, oh, I was like 10-ish. 10-ish, 9, 10, 11. Like, around that time. Yeah, because then like in 2012, I think. Ah, pain, man, pain. I'm 17 now. Damn, life goes by fast. No, actually, this is the cool thing, right? Time goes really slow until you exit high school. Like around you're 18 to around when you turn 18, let's say, right? Although if you're US based, like you start drinking more from, well, here you start drinking from you're 13, but like in the US, 14. In the US, it's like 21, right? The moment you become more, when you get more responsibilities, and just you either enter college or exit college, the time between there, it's just really fast. Like I can almost perfectly remember the day I got my application, like acceptance letter for college, right? Like I can remember that day very well. I was like 18, 19 then. And then college for me took up like 4 years of like just relentless work and dedication to my craft, and like time synced in, and like time sacrifices made and stuff like that. And then now it's like, now that I did an extra year, an extra like course thing, I come out and it's like, holy shit, I did invest all like my social time into just studying and working and stuff like that. And now I'm a VTuber, so that goes to show you how much that worked. And I wasn't even a bad one, by the way. Like, it's not like I was like one of the fluky or mediocre students. I was a student that excelled in the specific thing I was good at. Just all the rest, you know, if it doesn't interest me, I don't care, so I don't become good at it, that kind of shit. So if you're 17, the best thing you could do is to not take life advice from me, but if you would want some, it's something like, find a passion you think you can really sink time into. Maybe something you're already doing, or something you could see yourself doing, and then just dedicate your time to it. Invest time into it, research it, and have fun with it. And don't like, whatchamacallit, don't take life too seriously early on. But be wary that everything can be posted online, of course, if you act too much like in the dumb shit. I was addicted to Lego Star Wars, the complete saga. Now I'm addicted to Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga. Oh yeah, that game came out. I forgot. Oh, I forgot. I forgot. Then I realized that it came out, right? Like that kind of shit. Like yeah, that came out. It's like all 9 movies, right? I wonder if Mandalorian, a bit of that's in there too, and if it might spoil some of the Mando stuff. Probably not. Probably they make a cheeky joke about it, and it'll become its own thing later down the line. However, holy shit, Skywalker saga. Yeah, the Lego Star Wars gaming is something I got into really late, actually, all things considering. I think I might have been like 14, 15 before I really started getting into gaming. And even then I got into like retro gaming because I was very much like an AVGN watcher. My brother introduced me to that stuff. So I think it was because my dad didn't like how obsessed my older brother was at video games, and was like, I shouldn't be playing them, I should be doing the other things. But after a while, once I started playing video games, like he's like, oh, you do what you want to do. Like, I don't care. It's so weird how like you have a vision of your parents growing up, but then at a certain point you realize, wait, they're way chiller than I thought. Or yeah, some people have that. Other people have, under terrible experiences. But I have had a generally okay experience with parents-ish. I did not enjoy Jabba the Hutt boss fight. Ugh. Big Jabba, big. Jabba the Hutt. It's one of those creepy characters, not gonna lie. Even back with the original trilogy, like the movies, when I saw the scenes of him, they're like, ugh, it looks disgusting. He's disgusting to just kind of look at. Like, I swear to God, half the people that watch anime and get into, the shady side and like NTR shit and ugly bastard stuff, they all like Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt was their first sign. If they like something about Jabba the Hutt awoke it in them. That's where it all originates from. I have 100% the credible sources that I made it the fuck up. You can't deny. can't deny my crazy theory. Creepy Jabba. Creepy Jabba and his creepy, slimy, big tongue. Ugh. Although the effects in the original were good. Like, and you know what? He's a big snail without a shell. Yeah, but that's what makes him gross, though. Ah. He's a snail without a shell. Oh, so now it pops up quicker on Twitch than it does on the stream. That's weird. Yeah, no. He's a snail without the shell. Yeah, but that's what makes him creepy because he's like all slimy and shit. Ugh. And like you could imagine that he like when you look at him, right? Like you could imagine he smells like absolute garbage, but the people around him are like can't say anything, or they're like, you know, they'll be decapitated or some shit because you know, he's like that kind of like power that he exudes upon the people around him. I don't know. That's the thing I always sort of imagined there. I'm one of those weird defenders though that will say that like Star Wars the I went okay, interesting, cool. I didn't know ugly was a term that got moderated. Interesting. I'm one of those people that really liked the sequel trilogy growing up. I didn't like The Phantom Menace, but for one strange reason, I always thought that movie took too long. Like that movie technically is like only like what, an hour and a half, but it always felt way longer. Like they were in the desert and like nothing happened for a long time in that movie, and then the end happens where they fight. But even then, I always thought the duel in 2 and 3 were always better and more interesting. 3 because I always thought 3 was the coolest of the movies, and 2 because that's the movie I had on DVD, so that's the one I was kind of forced to watch a lot. I don't like that movie, but the Jango Fett part was pretty good. I did not enjoy Rebels. Okay, this is the thing, right? Like when that came out, it was like, looks like a show that didn't get enough development time. And then when you read about the history of it, like them making it, kind of having to like turn out the first season in like, what was it? Like 13 months or whatever. Like they had zero time to prep on that show. It's like kind of amazing they were able to make what they were. The lightsabers were hella skinny. Yeah. No, I'm not defending Rebels that I like it. I don't. I didn't watch it. I only watched like a few of the highlight parts, right? I like the idea of it. Like, yeah, okay, show some Rebel stuff. It's more kid focused, sure, whatever, right? Like, fine. I just find it so weird they wouldn't repurpose more of the shaders from Clone Wars into Rebels to make the first season, you know, look at least not like. Why does the first season of Rebels look like it has a very similar graphical fidelity to the original Clone Wars season? It's so weird. It's like all the improvements, like, forget about them. It's like, why would you do that? It's so stupid. Or to me, that sounds stupid, right? I mean, Jabba is fat and ugly, and Ugly Bastard's also fat and ugly. True. You see, that's the point. Woke is something in them. The fights were cool, not gonna lie. I saw one meme fight where it's like, I think 2 Inquisitors, and they take their lightsabers and like helicopter around and shit. I remember laughing my ass off to like a sequence of that, but whatchamacallit? I didn't. It's like a didn't watch, don't care. What I do like, right? And this is the thing I find weird with Rebels is, why was Ezra the main character? Wouldn't Sabine have made like much more of a compelling character, if only just because of her design? You know, she looks way more like there's a history there. I don't know. And then when you hear about some of her like backstory, like she's like a follow-up of the Mandalorian, blah 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 blah, like that whole history. But she wants to like learn the way, like a peaceful way, or like reintroduce a new way or something bullshit like that. Doesn't want to just inherit the way from back whenever. Like, that stuff's interesting to me. But Ezra just keeps getting destroyed by the villains. Lol. Maybe. But he just seemed like a boring kid. You see, I was like, why would I want to follow this dickhead? And honestly, I could still not answer that question. Like, why would you still want to follow that dickhead? I don't know. I always thought like his teacher's cooler, and his and Sabine is way, like, just because again her character design is way more interesting. It's like make her the main character, make her a force capable Mandalorian who grew up more as a Mandalorian, but then has to learn to use the way of the Force because it's better or whatever. I don't know. See, that already sounds more interesting. No, I'm not saying my ideas are better. I'm just saying my ideas are better and deal with it. That's what we're doing. Now we're doing unapologetic chat energy. We just make claims that we can substantiate, and then we don't back them up. We just double down. I'm being stupid. Like, forgive me for being an idiot. Although the idea would be nice, right? Oh, that's probably what they're sort of doing Baby Yoda now, I suspect. Anyway, right? The Inquisitor's lightsaber can be easily countered. The spinny bits? Yeah, I imagine, right? Because it's probably more show than actual like force. Like when Grievous spinned his spinny hands, he was doing it more as like a distraction maneuver to like trap Kenobi in, right? Whilst I imagine if you just willy-nilly use your lightsabers because you weren't properly trained with them, and you use them more to exude fear, that yeah, you'd probably be kind of shit with them. Like you'd be okay, but Grievous was like a droid, so if he does a spinny thing, it's different. At least to me. At least to me, that's different. I think. Still got it. Can still doodle up a dragon if I want to. Yeah. It's more like a fear factor. Yeah, it's probably like a intimidation upon the populace so that they won't like rebel and stuff like that, right? Like it's so they do it more out of like out of what it shows. Even though I always wondered how the Empire like, because okay, the Republic reforms into the Empire, and then throughout, what is it? The new show, the newest show, the Bad Batch. You kind of see those like early days where the clones are sort of transforming into stormtroopers. You get the idea of that, like the progression into the more dictatorish empire. What I never got was why was the color red, which was then associated with the Sith for the longest time, used as like, oh, now your Inquisitors will have red. Yes, they strike fear into the heart of the populace. And like, are we the baddies? Like, nobody figured that one out. Although they couldn't rebel because stormtrooper power is basically, yeah, they're space fascists, that kind of stuff. Yeah, right? Like, oh, that, yeah, you're saying, yeah, the Empire are basically space fascists. I know. But with something like it's the thing where if you just had the prequels and the Clone Wars, you kind of accept that they're like space fascists and that they got turned from one thing to the other, right? But the moment you start adding more and more media, so like Rebels, like all the stuff, it becomes, especially, this is the one critique I will give Rebels for its like more child-centered thing, is your story is about like space fascists, right? But your episodes are like all lighthearted and shit. But then it's like, what's the it's a tone thing. It's kind of just weird to take. I think it's a bit weird to swallow. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to believe these are like the very fascistic, like cartoony villains, but at the same time it's like, okay, but now they're so evil. How the hell do people even put up with this shit? And then it's like, it somewhat gets explained as, oh well, the Empire is so controlling, people can't stand up for themselves and they've lost hope or whatever the hell, right? That's the conceit, I think. Again, it's been a while. This is all Star Wars knowledge going like off of what I can remember in the back of my head. Which, you know, isn't much, but it's something. Look at me drawing with, oh yeah, only this as reference. Stormtroopers were awesome. Stormtroopers were awesome. I remember my favorite scene from 2 being the scene when Kenobi walks through the Camino site, and you get like this shot of all the clone troopers like gearing up and stuff like that. It plays like the Separatist March, but even then, like that shit was just cool. Or was it the Republic March? It's a variation on the Separatist part by being whatever the hell. Captain Fordo is better than Captain Rex in my opinion. Who's Captain Fordo? See, now we're bouncing into like what is my limited knowledge of Star Wars. Like I know a lot of things and I know nothing at the same time. I always thought Thrawn was pretty cool. Fordo is the guy who looks like... Oh, from that's the ARC Trooper from the Clone Wars animated show. Yeah, that guy was badass. That cartoon was badass. Like, holy crap! That cartoon had like whatchamacallit? The silent missions, which is funny because I never saw that cartoon when it like came out. I only saw it like years later, right? So I never got to experience it when it came out, except like bits and pieces on it. Like Cartoon Network would sometimes air bits and pieces of it, right? But then I would watch it, would have watched it later, and then when I did, it was like, what the fuck, this is awesome. And all the sequences with the clone troopers are like probably the best sequences. Like, I don't mind the Jedi stuff, it's cool, right? But seeing, it's the same like in 40K, seeing guardsmen do shit. And it's that, seeing like a regular human, quotation marks, they're like whatchamacallit, they're like beefed up humans, right? It's kind of cool seeing them do stuff that like overwhelms the odds, or they do it in like this very focused and like concise way. It's neat. Yeah, he's a one-man army. That's why while Captain Rex is a good strategist. Yeah, and like just watching them do stuff with like just a few hand maneuvers and whatever, and they pull out this entire mission. It's cool. And it's not a Clone Wars versus the Clone Wars stuff. They're two different shows doing two different things, right? The Clone Wars animated show from Genndy is a more romanticized version, an action-heavy one, right? Mainly taking cues from like Samurai Jack and like very short beat storytelling in like 2 or 3 minutes. Whilst the Clone Wars is more focused on like episode scaling, like episode spanning drama and intrigue and mystery and arcs. Even though the first season was kind of on it, but like from season 2 onwards. Right? Like, I watched a lot of season 1, but even I'll admit, season 1 kind of sucks. It's not that good. Even though it's important, you know, to get the setup a bit. My issue with Clone Wars when it like first aired was I hated how whenever General Grievous would show up, he was such a joke character. Like, he was such a non-threat. It was like the show was like, ooh, it's General Grievous, watch out, he's so spooky. But then his episode, it's like nobody really died in his episodes, or at most it was like a Padawan that died, and it's like, but you know, they're a Padawan, it's not that scary. Whilst the Grievous in the like original animated show was like this scary, basically nemesis from Resident Evil looking guy, who was like just mega silent and just did his mission, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's because he talked too much. I don't know. They made him more like a slapstick villain, which, you know, sure, fine. For the show, it probably was more useful that way, and he was the coolest design, but kind of undermines a bit of his character, right? The only flaw with the Jedi, in my opinion, is not supporting attachments. No, exactly, but that's also the flaw of the Jedi, right? That's kind of the conceit of of not only the show but like the franchise, right? Is that the Jedi themselves are also wrong. It's like the Sith are wrong because, you know, they're evil and space dictators and all that, but like the Jedi are also wrong because they're, you know, essentially almost incels. No, not incels. They're like gym bros. They're like, don't have attachments. You don't need anything. You just need the way of the gym. And yes, I'm comparing Jedi to gym bros for now. Like the bad kind. The ones that aren't like there about self-development, but are only there about like, yeah, just do the gym. Hello there. Hello there. General Kenobi. That shit will never not be funny. Prequel memes are so good. And that's, I got into an argument with my brother recently about this, where he's one of those older gen millennials where not with the same Gen Z boomer, with the same Gen Z mentality, where he still thinks like the prequels are kind of shit. And I'm like, yeah, but how much funny shit can you quote from the originals? And he can like quote one or two things. And I'm like, there's a weak sauce. And I start quoting like prequel shit, and he also admits like, okay, prequels are funnier. Like yeah, there's more memorable shit in them, but yeah, they're more goofy. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Accept it. Manifest, goddammit. Not all the Sith are evil. The Jedi only say they are. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, no, that's something true, right? Like in the books and stuff like that. Because if I remember correctly, like again, don't quote me on all this. It's like the Jedi see themselves as the balance keepers and like the good in the galaxy. However, the Sith are more like passion focused. It just so happens that the people that manifest the most passion somehow are more influenced by like dark side stuff to become bad people. But it's like it doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad, even though all like animated audio-visual media, I'll put it like that, kind of always depicts them as the evil bad guys. They're basically like two religions fighting each other. Yeah, they're two sides of the same coin. That's why like gray Jedis are sort of the best thing, right? You know what would be an interesting... Okay. Let's do some movie ideas, right? What would be an interesting idea in my eyes, right? Is they make a live action movie and you advertise it 100% like it's gonna be like a Jedi tale, right? Like in the trailer, it's a blue light, even though some things don't really make sense with like what the characters are saying to each other, but that's because you don't reveal it in the trailers. When the movie plays, it's revealed that our main character picks up a red lightsaber and gets influenced by maybe this takes place like in the core system. Let's say this takes place in the core system, either right during the fall of the Empire or after the fall of the Empire. It's a show about... I'm just gonna say show, because fuck it. It's a show about a young character who picks up the lightsaber either from an Inquisitor or whatever, and kind of becomes attached to it and is able to wield it because they're powerful with the Force. But this is the twist. They're a Sith. The twist is that they're a Sith, and we follow them along their journey. But because we follow their point of view, we see how they're also like viewed sort of as a bad guy, but they have to make up for themselves in a way, right? And then it's them doing like, I don't know, basic chore stuff. I don't know. I only got to the first part of the pitch. Couldn't figure out the rest quickly enough in just this little shit talk. No. It would then be a show about how maybe they're sort of good natured, but they have to tap more into that dark side energy to be able to realize their passions, which is to protect either the people around them or the community or whatever the hell, right? Whilst being attacked also by stormtroopers, because sure, not all Sith are immediately like friends of stormtroopers, and because lightsabers mean Force users means stormtroopers are ordered to kill on sight, I think, right? Something like that. See, that could be like somewhat interesting, right? I would gladly play as Raven from SWTOR. Yeah, I know, Star Wars: The Old Republic. If a movie was ever made about him, lol. It's also a little band I missed the video games. I know they're really good, but I just haven't played them. And I know bits and pieces of them. Like, for one thing I like with the Old Republic stuff is, like, having Sith as actual characters in them. Like, I think I saw, like, a trailer recently. It was this short trailer for, like, one of the new expansions about, like, this guy with this gas mask, Darth Vader looking ass, but, like, he had, like, a bald head. And you still saw somewhat of his face. He kind of looks like the first, like, the Destiny 2, the villain from the first part of that game. I guess what he makes me think of for some reason. But then less buff, of course. Whatever, right? And, like, there's this little compelling little story that plays out within the trailer about, like, hey, who do you trust, the truth, that kind of crap, right? It's like, okay, that's so cool and compelling. And even though the guy probably within the game lore is a bad guy, that trying to paint him with, like, his evil aesthetics in a sympathetic light, I think is something the movies would greatly benefit from exploring. Because it becomes more of a, you know, it's more cinema if the bad guys can also not just be the bad guys, especially in a franchise where you already established that shit, right? Like red lightsaber bad. Well, make a movie where red lightsaber, depending on how you use it, you know, do that. That's honestly what I thought they were gonna do with the Rise of Skywalker was Rey turns bad, but even though she turns bad, doesn't mean she turns bad. It means she taps into dark energies to do good things, something like that, you know. But no, we don't talk about that movie, right? I wonder what the Lego game does with it, though. I wonder how they either parody it or if they acknowledge how kind of dumb that movie is. But I'm incredibly sorry. I do not like the Rise of Skywalker. I didn't mind The Last Jedi. I thought it was the biggest troll move ever, and I loved it for that. Like, I thought, like, hey, okay, I kind of like this. I acknowledge everything that's wrong with it and problematic with it, but at the same time, like, yeah, I enjoyed watching it. Whilst The Rise of Skywalker just gave me a headache. Darth Malgus. Yeah, that's the Darth Vader looking ass, right? The asthmatic Darth Vader. That's such a stupid thing to call him. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's because he has the breathing apparatus. He looks like he's kind of like Bane from Batman 3, right? He's cool. He's a cool design. And it's also that he's like, yeah, he's powerful looking, but like in a good way. Stuff like that. Yeah. He looks cool. He had a girlfriend, I think. Really? You know what? Good on him. See? Don't let anyone get you down. Own that energy. But I have... But my head is a ball sack. You know, some shade to dig it if you can talk the talk. Like, there's probably some Jedi simp being like, yeah, why him? He's evil. And she's like, but he's very nice and gives the good head. It's like, no, he's evil. It's like, you just don't get it. Again, I don't know where I'm going with this bit. It just is what it is. Where did the... Oh, there it is. This is starting to look less like a clone trooper and more like an ARC trooper. Like one of those commando troopers. Also from the game. Dumb. Anyway. But he killed her because he believes attachments will make him weak. So he does the Jedi route thing. That's so stupid. Boo! Boo! You were a Sith, but then you still fell to the same stupid, like logic thing. Boo! That's so dumb. Boo him. I hope his suit itches. Just being stupid. Like maybe that's what if people not all people can reincarnate as ghost spirits. I know that. Like whipping his ass for all eternity, always making his suit like kind of itch, like a revenge play as a ghost. If you as a ghost get the opportunity to like take revenge on people, and you can do it by like itching them, annoying them like that, and they were that kind of asshole that did that, it's like, yeah, screw it. You're having itchy feet for as long as I can manifest the power to do so. Hey, where did my dragon go? Where did my There's a dragon above here. Where'd it go? There it is. What? Why did it disappear? When I flipped that. So dumb. I've seen Dooku barely kill anyone. True. Yeah, okay, maybe some like those bug people or whatever, Geonosians or whatever, but honestly, who does he kill? Probably lore-wise. Well, I guess he doesn't kill as much as that, like indirectly because of his because of the war that he commands and draws out. That kills a lot of people, right? Like I could imagine that being more of a thing. Yeah. Also, if it's weird that my eye closes, it's because I look down, but when I look down for some reason to program things, my eyes shut. Well, no, I can actually see why they think that. My eye doesn't open that far. But, like, still, bad iPhone thinking I'm making me look like I'm sleeping. Whilst I'm not. Star Wars. This has become a Star Wars stream. Talking about Star Wars, which actually not talking about Star Wars, but let's see if we can get an extra music in here, because now I've been listening to this loop for how long? I've been listening to this loop for a while now. What about you? How long can we have you on loop before I grow tired of it? Oh, nobody's alive. We'll have to get to that. I'll have to get to that later. This is soothing. It's too silent for my taste. There we go. There you go. I always loved for the Clone Wars, like those intro sequences where it was like the propaganda voice thing that recaps like the episode or whatever. It took me a while to realize as like an adult, like, yeah, it's propaganda. Like that makes you, it's not like it really changes that much, but it does as like a character make you think like, wait a minute, we are listening to like war propaganda at the same time. So it's like, how much of this do we believe? Now we believe it because we sat with the characters, we see it from their point of in perspective and stuff, right? But at the same time, the narration is also incredibly biased. Like it makes you think twice about how easy you can get swept away in this stuff as long as you think you're like on the right side and that kind of shit, right? I found that a bit interesting. Anakin's such an abused character. The cartoons and movies constantly give him shit. Well, yeah, it's because he has a very, very troubled life. I mean, he grows up really poor in slavery. Then he gets saved by the Jedi, gets indoctrinated and told to let go of all his beliefs, has nightmares of his mom being like essentially abused, sold off, and like killed eventually. Then he comes back, has a romantic relationship with someone that where he knows he's actually not really supposed to have one with. Then he is really happy because then the war happens. I can't summarize too much of Clone Wars' stuff, but like he gets betrayed left and right. Like at a certain point he thinks Obi-Wan's dead, but then he's not, and the council doesn't let him know of anything because the council's kind of afraid of him, but at the same time they still want him there because he's Anakin, and so it becomes this weird they kind of hate him. And by and then he kind of becomes uber corrupted. I can kind of see why he turned to the dark side. Yeah, no, and that's the cool thing because the back when Revenge of the Sith came out, right? That was the big complaint people had was that they didn't buy the transition of Anakin. Even though within just the movies, you could kind of see it, right? And especially the third movie contextualizes it well with the Jedi Council mistrusting him and stuff like that. But in the movies, it kind of, because of somewhat the delivery that was requested of him, it kind of comes off sometimes like he's pouting, like he's like a pouting child, like, yeah, I'm just not allowed to be part of the council. Yeah, they don't trust me with anything. Yeah. But like that's the critique that was given back in the day, right? Which then the Clone Wars and even the animated show to a lesser extent, like they expanded upon basically the abuse he got and stuff like that. That would make him turn to the dark side or like to inform that corruption of Anakin. Because that's the tragedy, right? It's not just Anakin is the bad guy, it's that Anakin should have been the good guy. But expectations and dogma kind of turned them evil. Unbeknownst to everyone. From a council of people that were just, kind of idiot. I've seen people lie to him more than being honest with him. No, I think from a day-to-day, I think the funny thing is that the most honest people he's had in his life are probably the the clone troopers under his command. Because they're focused on the mission, and then within war, they bond in that sense, right? And because there's no advantage in lying as like a soldier, because you want the trust of your comrades and stuff like that. I think the most honest people in his life have been the clone troopers under his command, even though they're under his command. This is a hypothesis, by the way. I have no good like sources to back this up, by the way. That if that is true, yes or no. I think. Besides the clones? Besides the clones. Yeah, you got me there. You got me there. I honestly couldn't tell. I think... Besides the clones. Who else? I guess Ahsoka was the most honest person with him? right? But like she's a Padawan, so I said essentially no one from the higher, from like the from the Senate and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, the Senate is shit, and most of the council are useless. That's true. Most of the council are useless. I think probably the most earnest people in his life were yeah, Ahsoka, and to a lesser extent Obi-Wan. Like even though Obi-Wan wasn't as only he only had a few moments where he really lied to Anakin, but I can imagine that their time together was an earnest time together. Like Obi-Wan really did try to teach him the way of the Force as Qui-Gon Jinn taught him before him, right? And they did have that brotherly bond by the end of it, where even as a brother, you don't always tell your brother everything, right? And you might have disputes here and there, but at the same time, the whatchamacallit, the idea I think still there is that that was probably the most honest relationship he had in his life. And it's also then that it contrasts with like when the Republic kind of sends Obi-Wan away on missions and think Anakin can handle it on his own, which is somewhat reinforced by Palpatine. That's when he gets corrupted, you know? And Padme kind of, yeah. But at the same time, she's like a politician too, right? But yeah, their romance was always a bit weird. Because it was always like, oh, they love each other, the romance. Why does she love him? Because have you heard Tom talk about sand? And then I get into memes again. Then I stop taking it seriously and I start talking about the memes again, right? I hate sand. Which honestly, true and pretty based. Like fuck sand. If you've ever been to like a beach with sand, where okay, you get in the water, and it's fun. The water's warm and the sand's fun in the water. But then you get out, and then it's kind of cold, so you know you want to get the water rinsed off, but the water from the cranes is kind of cold. But then you want to get the sand off because you don't want to be walking around to your hotel room with like sandy feet, and then the sand sticks, and then somehow the sand comes up your butt creek. And the worst feeling on the world is sand up your butt. And Anakin was right. Star Wars, we were all laughing with Anakin, but at the same time, we were laughing at him because he was speaking the truth. Fuck sand. Stupid tangent. Sorry. Qui-Gon could have saved Anakin from turning, since he's more wiser than Obi-Wan. No, exactly. That's what Obi-Wan also kind of. That's why Qui-Gon had to die. That's why Duel of that. Isn't that the explanation? I remember it from like, was either an analysis video or an analysis from the music, or like an analysis from the movie, or from like director commentary or something like that. Is that like that's why Duel of the Fates is called Duel of the Fates in the first live action movie? It's because when Qui-Gon and Obi fight Darth Maul, it's not the fate of the universe, it's the fate of Anakin that gets decided there. And was it like from someone who asked Gendy about it, and like Gendy told them about something like that, right? Where like the idea is that the Duel of the Fates in that moment is not the duel like of the fates of Naboo or whatever. No, it's the duel of the fate of Anakin. And because Qui-Gon dies, Darth Maul technically wins. Because Qui-Gon was the one that could have guided Anakin in the right light, since he's not 100% convinced slash like follows the Jedi code, right? But Obi-Wan, just being less experienced, kind of tries to fall back on what he thinks is right. And that's how he tried to educate Anakin, but that wasn't enough, because under the watch of what's his face, Palpatine, he was able to also manipulate Anakin and all that stuff. Whilst if Qui-Gon would have been there, shit probably wouldn't have happened. Kind of broke when Obi-Wan yelled out, "You were the chosen one." It's such a meme, but at the same time, yes, you do, right? Like if you, and I think maybe it's because, again, I'm coming from the context of people used to hate the prequels, right? They used to laugh at them. Mainly older people that kind of grew up on the original trilogy and saw those as like sacred movies, and were like, "Man, this stuff is kind of bad," and meh. But it's because they wouldn't allow themselves to be invested in it. When you, which is like me, right? Let's say like a kid that grew up around the time when those movies were coming out, and you were also the intended target audience. You get that. You were the chosen. My voice is gone. You were the. I can't do it. Wait. You were the chosen one, Anakin. Anakin, you were the chosen one. Fuck me, I can't do it. Okay, I'm stuck at this. I can only do this voice for some reason. Okay, that's weird. I could do it earlier, but not now. Hello there. Is that you are connected with Obi-Wan in that moment. You really do feel like Anakin betrayed you, and like they as brothers fought when that music is playing when they're doing their battle for Mustafar. It's like you get that conveyed through the music, conveyed through the choreography, all that shit, you know? Kind of felt that betrayal when seeing seeing the very people Anakin work with die. Yeah, Order 66 is one of those things where even though I didn't know all the Jedi, like just that moment happening and how the music carries the sometimes there is movie criticism that's like you just put sad music on it to make us feel sad, and it's like, yeah, but it's also heavy music to let you feel the moment. It's not just that it's like, oh, it's playing sad music. It's playing sad instrumental music with a few sound effects and like zero voice lines that makes it hit that much harder, right? About how devastating Order 66 truly is. I'm just gonna change the stream to Drunk Star Wars Ramble. This is a Star Wars stream. And you feel that it's like you feel that pain, and it's perfectly conveyed through the storytelling on the on in the movie. But people back in the day were just, I think they were just complaining about it because they weren't like. It's not like the sequel films were like the last one was just like a broken movie, but it really was like I think that people just wouldn't allow their suspense to be disbelief. Like they truly saw like Star Wars is supposed to be this adult thing, but it's like there were always kiddie adventures, but they were just good ones, so you didn't mind. I don't know, something like that. Anakin burning was hard to watch. Although I'm gonna admit his performance there was kind of shit. Like it's not the lines were bad. It's just the delivery, right? Like I hate you. It's like okay, that makes me giggle. Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. It's not that. No. Oopsie. But like the effects work was really good on it, and you totally get the moment is sold to you, right? Because honestly, until I rewatched it a few years ago, I forgot he like even yelled "I hate you." I just remember the scene of like him crawling there, burning, like sad and angry and shit, and Obi-Wan with tears in his eyes, going, "You are the chosen one," and that kind of stuff. Why is my voice gone? Do I need to drink water? Do I need to hydrate my cockles? I don't know what the word is. There's a word for it, like right, like where your throat, your voice box. Maybe it's my voice box. I don't know. Hello, test. Chosen. Nope, still can't do it. Honestly, weird. I always find it funny how there's like a retroactive design detail where like the stormtrooper helmets are supposed to suck ass when you look through them. Well, stormtrooper gear was just really good, but it's like has to do with like cutbacks on the Empire, and like to make it scarier, they kind of traded in efficiency for like its intimidation factor. That stuff kind of it doesn't bug me. I know it's like retroactively having to explain why they changed the stuff, but it does look really funny. Grievous be looking at me spin my laser swords. Grievous was cool. Grievous was really cool. Wait, let's get a picture up of him. Let me get a Grievous picture. I'll draw a bit of Grievous. I always really liked his design. Although the funny thing is that I liked his proportions. I liked his proportions in the Clone Wars, like his chest, for it being broader, especially like in the animated show as well, right? But like in the movie, it's more crushed because his chest piece was like crushed. what I always loved about the third movie, about the effects work especially, is that Grievous. It's not that Grievous just has good effects, right? Is that like his little, his carapace sheet like robot parts have subsurface scattering on them, and that's just so cool to me. Makes it look so real, and like he has tiny little microphones in front of his like voice box because the voice coming out of him probably isn't that strong, but then it amplifies the his thing. I don't know. I really like Grievous, his design. Let's doodle one next to the clone trooper here, since it's Star Wars based. Well, let's see if we can make it smaller so we can. He has like a long face, curved. It goes into like circles on the side, which then go into like these things around his ear. Should just do Star Wars streams where I talk random Star Wars trivia, like everyone else on the internet. No, but you're not drawing him 100% correct like the canon. Well, my nuts. My left nut. I've been trained. I've been trained in your. Why am I doing Scooby Doo? Shaggy, I've been trained in your Jedi arts by Dooku, Shaggy. Mm. Oh, my voice is broken. Okay. I don't know. I don't even know why my voice is broken. There's no reason for it to be broken, but it is. Apparently. That is very odd. Don't like that. Not a fan of it. Shaggy. I've been trained in you. Nope. 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 Can't do it. There's a. Whatchamacallit? Like. Okay. Quick example, right? Let's say this is my head. Yes, a head like that. Say this is the neck, and then that goes up. I have my voice down here I can use. That's what I'm using now. I have. How high can I could. Okay, I can only go this high. No, like all this of my voice. All this of my voice I cannot use for some reason. I am stuck in the lower basses, but even then there's like I can't go super low because it's down here it's also like cut off. It's a visual example. My voices don't work like that, but like the best way I can explain it, right? It's like my voice doesn't want to. It's like it's stuck, and then make a photo of General Grievous suit with Scooby in it. Yes, Scooby, Scooby snacks. Clip it exactly. Anyone should be able to clip because I've enabled the feature for everyone. Because more clips equal more views, clicks, I suppose, right? I don't know. I'm really bad with it when it comes to like the networking and advertisement part of VTubing. It's something I really not am paying enough attention to, even though like every part of advice online is like you should be paying more attention to this and you should be optimizing SEO, you should be making more content that you're able to like distribute to other parts. Like I think I already went on this spiel once, like wow, how there's a whole bunch of extra optimization stuff that I could be doing, but I don't know all of it. And that's kind of my thing, my issue, I suppose. Wait, let's just make him a bit skinnier. But yeah. His ear thingies look wrong. They're too big, that's what it is. Maybe I could just use liquefied brush for it. That makes him look like a bat. A bit, right? Push around, do 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 do. Breathe. It's like his forearms. It's like his it's like his forearms. I was like his shoulder pads. His shoulder pads were really cool. Whatever. Breathe. Okay, my voice broke. I have no idea why. That's so weird. When you're the main villain, then the force theme starts playing. You're just there like, oh no, what for hell no. It's like they activated cheats. You're there like, no, why doesn't my theme play? Why do I never win? You know about the fate of General Grievous's armor, by the way? It's like mega sad what happens to him. Like it's sold off into like a black market thing, and then it turns into, and then you can kind of find it in like a game once where someone's using like the Android protocols of it that were saved for it to be basically like a security droid. Like when General Grievous dies, like he's dead. Such a wasted character. Like honestly, if sequel trilogies, right, or like expanded universe shit could do anything, it's bring back this guy. Like not bring back him. Okay, interesting arc you could do. General Grievous returns, but he is not General Grievous. He thinks he's General Grievous, but it's actually all the data that's stored on him that still remains. So he walks around like General Grievous. He has the fleshy bits are 100% replaced with android bits because he's technically 100% a droid now. And so he struggles with that. He struggles with like him being not flesh anymore because he used to be like a proud warrior race, right? But now he's 100% a robot, which is like, and his last memories are like dying to Kenobi because like he, literally like the cutoff point of his memory is right when he stops taking breath, is when like the boot disk or whatever started recording, and so he is essentially like a character that was able to live on as a robot, but even though he is technically a copy of his original stuff. And then you play with that, right? Like, couldn't that be cool? Couldn't that be a cool way to bring him back? And then it's like he doesn't have to be even a bad guy at that point because he's been trained in the arts of Count Dooku. He becomes like a mentor character, but one with a, you know, dubious moral compass or whatever. Maybe he becomes a mercenary. I don't know. His design is cool and they shouldn't waste it like that. Like, he's dead, sure, but death is never permanent, especially with a character where you can easily do it in the way I just described, and you can have it be like a compelling, like oh, is he really alive now or is he a droid sort of ordeal. Maybe he makes the point of pride where he hates that people refer to him as a droid still. Hire me, Lucasfilm. I kid. Every Star Wars fan thinks of the idea, like, what if they did this, or what if they rewrote it in this way, or they could have done this, or... There's so many ideas they have to leave on the cutting room floor. It's inevitable you get some of those, like, ideas, right? Especially since, like, the expanded universe stuff is uncanon, so that game where he shows up and isn't canon anymore. Therefore, you could redo the idea of bringing him back. I don't know. His new identity after death is NK Necrosis. Is that the... when he's, like, a robot, but he's just an enemy in the game? NK necrosis, or did they make like a whole whatchamacallit, like a whole story with him? Like, I don't think they made a story with him, right? Like, oh yeah, he's an enemy in the game. Which again, the idea is cool, right? Like it's the droid with all the combat data afterwards, but then make it like literally he thinks he's Grievous, or like he is Grievous for all intents and purposes. Yeah, my master named me Ankies. I must have awakened him, spent too many years, blah blah blah. I'm now on the wiki, by the way, the Wikipedia. And the advice content, a combat droid created from the body of the late General Grievous, blah 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 blah. But yeah, all of this cool stuff is also now expanded universe stuff, right? So therefore, they could just do this again, except, you know, do it in one of the shows or whatever. Although that might be really expensive to do, like have General Grievous around for multiple episodes. Do it, you cowards! Bring him back. Bring him back in this like cool form. People would like it. Especially because you could... okay, there is one gag that I think would be really cool that they do, right? Like, there's a gag where he's trying to teach someone how to fight with the laser sword, with the lightsaber. And then he's like, now take your... fucking Scooby-Doo sounds. Now take your weapon and do this. And he breaks open his hand, or he uses one hand, and he starts spinning his arm. And then the apprentice looks at him like, yo, I can't do that because, like, wrists don't do that. And then he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to get those replaced. And it's like a jokey joke, and it shows that the new General Grievous is a little bit more funny because haha, joke, got him, you know. They use his corpse as a fucking robot. I imagine they clean out the flesh bits, right? Like, they clean out the they clean out the fleshy bits. They clean out the android part, right? They clean out what used to be the warrior General Grievous, and only would remain what they would retain is like the shell. So it's not like they're using his body. It's like the corpse gets cleaned out. They only use the suit. This becomes weird when you... I'm not drunk. I'm thinking about this. Because yeah, at the same time, no, that is his body. But it's also his corpse. But it's also his corpse. It's just a suit for the fleshy bits. It's like in RoboCop. Do you see RoboCop as RoboCop is his body, or is RoboCop the suit his brain is in? I don't know the answer, by the way. Yeah, I'm not cleaning that suit. Like, imagine that's your, like they pick up the suit, it's all burned out and like gross and shit, and you get the like in the morgue you get the thing thrown at you, and they're like, clean this, and you're like, ugh, can we not just throw it out? And you're there like, your boss like, no, that was General Grievous, like those bits are gonna bring up a lot, like there's combat data in there, don't fucking ruin it. And then you're just like a cleaner, it's like, oh, I don't get paid enough for this. And then you start like jawing this shit. And you clean everything out. You get like a toothbrush. I imagine that exists. You get like the Star Wars little toothbrush and like you try to scrape everything out so it's all clean and new. You gotta replace the burn marks and like peel off the burned parts and like clean that shit up. Polish it all so it's 100% great. Rebuild Grievous to like a state where he doesn't look like absolute ass. Like, that's a cool job, right? Like, rebuild Grievous. Oh, I'm incredibly sorry for the mental image, but I just think it's funny. I think it's funny, like, being the visual of a guy sitting there that has to clean it, and he's, like, kind of pissed off about it. And, like, I don't really wanna, but I might as well anyway, right? Now that would be funny. I think that would be funny. At least a tiny bit. Full time to bury his burned general. Well, yeah, but then and then when they want to bury him and they give him an honorable burial, it's like, okay, how big must I dig the hole? Like, imagine they don't do incineration for this one time, right? And then he shovels it once. He takes out just a tiny bit because all the mush that remained essentially added up to like a single garbage bag of like stuff, or like not even a garbage bag, but like a grocery bag of like stuff. And he's like, well, this is everything. Up in the hole, and then they throw it in the hole. It's like they cover it up. It's like, yep, that was it. And then they run off with the body. or the suit. At that point, it's a suit, right? Well, this is also his body. It's his prosthetic? Maybe that's the best way to look at it. It's his prosthetic. There you go. The suit isn't a suit. It isn't his body. It's his prosthetic. It's a prosthetic body, essentially. Yes, there you go. It's problemo solved-o. Somewhat. Oh god, I don't want to fucking touch this. Yeah, that's why you put it in the garbage bag, so you could just, like, hold it up like a... Yeah. Why did I go into this? It is a weird visual to describe. However, it makes sense. That's probably what happened. Hey, until they actually give a lore reason or they make, like, an actual show about it, anything goes. Therefore, what I say is correct, and that is canon Star Wars until Star Wars makes a statement. Where they're like, no, that's not what happened. That is what happened. Jango Fett was buried in Geonosis. True. Yeah, right? He was buried in the sand there, probably. Wonder if they cleaned his corpse. Oh, probably Boba did. Probably Boba gave him somewhat of a burial when he found his body after the battle. I'm always still confused. So the armor he has now, the Boba Fett armor, is the Jango Fett armor, right? Like, I thought he blew it up in Clone Wars or some shit, but no, that might have been an imposter armor? Because now in Mando, they kind of just flat out say, like, no, it's my father's armor. Like a bantha. It's my father's armor. So it's his armor. So then he got his dad's armor. So that means he must have taken out the head when burying. Ah. Yeah, that's probably why Boba was fucked up, because, you know, it's kind of traumatizing. Which, I'm still sad that they didn't add more scenes of, like, young Boba growing up underneath, like, Cad Bane or whatever, and, like, them doing jobs. They could have added so much more weight to that final confrontation, but whatever. Whatever. It's tiny things. It's I think Star Wars now, since Mandalorian, so, like, after Rise of Skywalker, has been doing mostly everything right. But just the tiny things are always like, that could have been a little bit better. Not with Mando. I am 100% a Mandalorian stan. I love that show. Even the things where it's like, it's just filler. It's like, nope, don't care. Filler good. Filler good if I'm having fun with my Buckethead. With my Buckethead man and his baby. Buckethead man and baby merchandise. Did you hear about the funny, like the sort of the anecdotal story about how Disney did not believe Baby Yoda was gonna be like merchandisable at all? So when the Mandalorian came out after like Rise of Skywalker, they had all the penguin like toys, right? But they barely had any Baby Yoda toy, Grogu Baby Yoda toys, Baby Yoda at the time, toys, right? And so stores were like, okay, nice, great show. Where's our toys? And then they were like, oh, what do you mean toys? And they just either forgot or they didn't schedule it correctly. It's so dumb. It's like such an, oh my god, how did nobody figure? You could have made like merchandise wise, right? Because that's what Star Wars drives on. Which sure, fine. But then you do it wrong by not capitalizing on that idea. Like, come on, the moment you saw the toy, you should have saw the thing on set. You should have been like, oh, this is gonna make us a lot of money. But nope, not enough confidence in it. Nope, too bad. And then like scam accounts started making their own things. I am drawing him terribly, by the way. There you go. That's Baby Grogu, and that's Mando. It looks like shit. That's Mando. That's Mando with his like helmet, and he has like a trying him in like a. That is adorable, yeah. And he has a. He has like the shoulder pauldron thing. Yeah, there you go. And he has a jetpack because he's cool. And he has a cape. I like the cape. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted again. I don't want to know how Boba removed Jango's head from his helmet. Oh my god. Sometimes I really wish I had hands with the VTuber model, right? I imagine it's like, so you had the pit where Jango Fett was going to be buried in, and then Boba closes his eyes, looks away, and then has like his body turned with the helmet, and then like shakes it up and down so that the head just kind of pops off and book, falls into the hole. That's how I imagine it. This is the visual. This is the visual for that. He like shakes it, you know. He like prepares the head, and he kind of like shakes it until you hear like the floop, and like the helmet gets lighter. That's how he did it. It's a you have to think about it practically. it's terrifying and it's very traumatizing, but you know, I do not want to see this scene that I now have in my head filmed right. I don't need it. I don't need a backstory thing where they film that. But I like to imagine that's how it happened for some reason, because I think it's funny. Although I do want to draw in this baby Yoda though. It's cute. I think it's cute. Look at him. Look at him. All green and shit. This is the way. This is brown ass looking ass. And Mandalorian. I like in Mando season 1 that when Mando gets like dirty and shit, he gets dirty. Like he's very much like a dirty little motherfucker in the first season, especially. Like when he gets hit by stuff, like it like those first few episodes, like all the mud and shit. The episode with the rhinoceros looking alien thing, right? That was cool, I found. Because he went from like the very reflective Mandalorian, you can see everything in his helmet kind of thing, to like he's covered in shit, but it felt so real, you know? It felt so real, all the shit he's covered in. There you go. That's my baby Mando. Baby Mando full of Easter eggs. No one know Boba Fett. No, my voice is broken. Voice box boomed. No, I'm still streaming. Okay, for some reason I thought that whatchamacallit, the thing broke for a second. It might have. Oh well. Yeah, little Mando. You know what? I might just screenshot a few of these to Twitter. I desperately need a schedule to keep myself like occupied too. Hashtag Mandalorian and hashtag Grogu. Dinjurin. Adorable. Any more Star Wars things I can... It looks so stupid. It looks like a bucket. I love the bucket. I love the bucket helmet. My... Great. Voice box broken. Love this. Hey. I just fill up an entire stream talking about more interesting Star Wars things I think are interesting. Okay, I'm gonna color in this guy too. Okay, I'll add a layer here. Let's add like blue. It's somehow bluish compared to like the yellowish background, which I find incredibly funny. Also, I'm a fan of like having male designs for necks be like these big thick necks to emphasize the masculine feature. Just because I think if you don't, you do kind of fall into like the thing where either you're going for like a more feminine design. There's nothing wrong with that. I've just done it too much, you know. So I'm a little bored by it. So I think designs that are a bit more like overtly masculine can be more interesting to draw for me. Sometimes, at least compared to like dainty figures. Again, mostly because I've just done it too much. Um, and then Grievous is like a off yellow looking thing, right? Like his thing is like an off-white, like a bone-looking thing, because he's like a skeleton man. Which then contrasts more with his like innards sort of looking thing. God, my voice box is broken. Broken voice box is broken. Why? Why is the broken voice box? Why do you do this to me? And the only fleshy bits are his eyes, if I remember correctly. But then because I made them grayish, the only thing really white are his like eyeballs. More gray. Look at that. Look at that. He kind of looks like Grievous, sort of. If you don't take everything too seriously. Let's now add a bit of screen colors. And then, like, hey, let's highlight him a bit. Okay, let's go here. Yeah. That looks like splooge. That's not good. I'll continue with the more shady helmet thing. Baby Mando. Baby Mando, baby bucket helmet. I love that they commit to the bit as well. Like, let him have the quote-unquote dumb, awesome-looking bucket helmet. Oh, but people won't read his emotions. Like, no, they will. They will. Our script writing is just that good. Or people will totally get what we mean without them having to actually see his face. Well, what can we do to make people realize? I'm like, no. As opposed to, what was it, like the Halo show? Where they tried to do a similar thing, but then they fucked up. Because like in the first episode, he takes off his helmet. It's like, why? If you're gonna copy like a show that got very popular by doing the whole helmet bit thing, why would you then have him take off the helmet? Bad show. Well, not bad show, but like, come on. You knew what you were doing. You could have had it all. I can't sing. I can't even do that. My vocal cords are not participating today. And I have no idea why. It is extremely It's extremely upsetting. Ooh, no, that's too gray. I need you to be an off gray. There you go. Yes. I got somewhat looking General Grievous, ARC Trooper looking Stormtrooper, and the Buckethead Mando. I can make a few comics with this design. Look at him. There's probably already comics with that looking that design, by the way. Like I'm fairly certain I'm not the first one. Not that that really matters, but like I think it's funny. Look at him. I don't know, stupid bucket helmet. Look at his egghead looking ass. I will not apologize. I will not apologize for my Mando looking bucket helmet. Because I think it's incredibly funny. I am, however, a comedian. Okay, I got some of my lower range back. Interesting. I just can't go high, I suppose. What does Mando even look like? I drew that. Come on, Mando. Yeah, I kind of got it right. Like a T looking. Or like a bucket with intricate helmet design. It's funny, I look at him all the time when I play Fortnite, but like, you don't pay attention, I guess, to what you look at a lot, right? 0.5. Okay, get him next to here. So where am I roundy? Back side, up there. Like halfway through. I will change the song in a bit, because now I've had that song up for a while. How long have I been streaming? I've been streaming an hour and 40 minutes? Holy crap. Thank you for watching the stream. On YouTube, don't forget to like the stream if you like the stream. I hope I can one day do that. I hope I can one day... I for a while used to watch some League streamers, and the main one I used to watch was... I don't know if he's that controversial. No, he's not. I don't think so, at least. I don't know enough to... Whatever, right? Shin. He was interesting. He was funny, I found him funny. He explained the game in manners that I could eventually understand it, right? However, so a Shin, who was banned from Twitch over some false allegation stuff that wasn't real or was real or whatever. Don't care. He would do this thing when he was streaming because YouTube rewards engagement, right? Like this is even though I'm streaming on both platforms, I just think this is interesting. Is where he would constantly say, "Don't forget to like the stream if you like the stream," and I didn't mind it, but I've just heard that sentence so many times. I have begun automatically saying it from time to time, just because it's just part of my vernacular now, I guess. It's part of my lexicon where I just go, "Don't forget to like the stream if you like the stream," and then people look at me like, "What are you talking about? This isn't even YouTube," and I'm like, "Oh God. What are you talking about? You're not even streaming. Do you stream?" It's like, oh shit. Oh well, right? Now you liquefy the brush into the correct. So many angles with this thing. Shiny and chrome. Shiny and chrome. Shiny and chrome. Shiny and chrome. Okay, next song. You've been on too long. Couldn't I just... Ooh, arcane lo-fi. Nice. Oh, thank you. Samuel Kim Music has it on. That's good to know. How loud is this? Oh, shit. This is not bad at all. Oh, yeah. So like the incorporation of cloth in this design, you know. I like this stupid dinky design so much. It's so adorable. Like, you could totally see this being like a webcomic looking thing, right? Where it's like, Mando do a thing, and then it's like Baby Grogu just kind of falls on his face. Maybe I should make that a tiny mini like comic slash short animation. It's like Mando, now that he's like, it'll be called Mando Season 3. Episode 1. It's like Mando, Baby Grogu. He puts them down. He's like, okay, and then go up, and then Baby Grogu just falls down, and it's the end. That's it. It's like 3 seconds. It will be very shareable. It'll be very mixable. It'll be, oh my god, this is a great idea. I should clip that. Why am I not clipping this? This is a good idea. Actually, thinking about it, this is a good idea. I'm clipping that for myself. Imagine. Do you imagine that? Imagine. Oh, now the stream has an excellent connection. Okay. Sure, YouTube. Creepy YouTube being all weird and shit. Is what it is. Yeah. Okay. Even that has the wrong proportions technically, but I'm not gonna bitch about it because there's no reason in bitching about it. We were making Easter things actually all the way in the beginning, so I should be making another Easter thing instead of Star Wars. I like this design for this helmet though. Looks like Deadshot, but kind of different. Let's make one Easter egg in this entire thing, you know? If anything, Easter eggs are good for, if you ever want to do shading practice, draw yourself an Easter egg. Those things are pretty good to do. Because then you can just go to the lower layer, take your brush, take your background colors, make it blue. And then add that another blue. Always change your hue when you're changing these colors and applying them, even though I keep forgetting it. Because me stupido. But that doesn't matter. Nope, I do not care for that to be multiplied. And then green and a smaller one. This is a good little mix, actually, not gonna lie. It just takes a whole bunch of the songs from the arcane show, but then makes them, you know, more lo-fi hip-hop for streams and stuff like that. I should probably have to look into like if I have to credit authors, yes or no, and how I'm supposed to do that, and blah yada yada yada. There we go. We did it. A single Easter egg. Ain't that great? And did a 2-hour stream essentially. 10 minutes. Who cares about 10 minutes? It's the same thing. Oh my god, it's almost 5. Jesus Christ. It's time to put these foolish ambitions to rest. It's time to put these foolish eggs to rest. Okay. I'm going to thank you very much for watching the stream. And I would say be on the lookout for more things to do. This week I need to come up with ideas. Because otherwise it's going to end up being like a whole bunch of drawing streams and nothing else. Which is good, but not all I would want to be doing. Like, I don't mind doing drawing streams, but I don't think that they're the be-all, end-all of streaming, you know? Yeah. Let me think. What else could I say? But oh well, goodbye. Say goodbye. Nope, still no voice. Voice is still gone. Is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. Weird. First time my voice has been this weird. I'm sorry I'm complaining about it that much. Anyway, take care. I had a bit of booze. What was good? I had a bit of cola, bit of booze. I'm gonna go off to eat something to get a bit more of a hunger going. Thank you oh so very much for watching. And take care. We can put alone, violence alone. And the stories in the told. Oh wait, it went from lo-fi to something else. The dragon, the one too hard to break out. All in this ring, everybody's gonna be my enemy. Well, can't sing. Fuck me. Oh well. Take care.